Hey, beautiful people, how you doing? Today I want to touch on a very touchy subject for many of us, and that subject is forgiveness. Forgiveness. And I know for many of you, just by me talking about forgiveness right now, man, automatically like your mind just go right back to almost everybody or anything that ever made you feel a certain type of way, and I get that. And I know for many of you, man, you may be like, man, listen, you don't understand what they did to me. You don't understand what they said, man. Who? Me? Forgive who? I'm going to my grave like that. And that's cool. And many of you will. And I get that, man. I've been there. I understand. Before I get done with this message, I'm going to share a story with you why I talk about forgiveness today, and why I think it's so important for many of us to forgive. First and foremost, man, it's a principle ordained by God, right, for us to forgive people. Right, no matter like what happened to us. I know it's some heinous stuff that took place out there. Some of you been, tampered with, maybe by family members, been lied on, stepped on, cheated on, and a whole lot of stuff. So I get it. Trust me, you're not talking to somebody who come straight out of seminary school trying to tell you, listen, man, it's a principle by God. Let's do X, Y, and Z. I get that, right? We're gonna keep it real for a minute, because I'm gonna go somewhere with this in just a second. Forgiveness is important, man, because what happens is for those individuals that traumatize us, that hurt us, that lied on us, for many dudes that snitched on us, what happens is those individuals go on with their life, right? And we find ourselves still living or reliving whatever it is that they did to us. So in essence, you become a prisoner of your mind. Whether you know it or not, you become a prisoner of that individual. They've gone on. They've cheated on you. They lied on you. They said all these other things about you, right? And that person is somewhere doing them. You're still stuck with the trauma that happened to you, and by being stuck in that phase of that stage of your life, what happens is you give that person so much power over you. The only way to release yourself is to really forgive that person. Am I talking about forgiving them and still hanging out with them? Forgiving them and still, allowing them to come around you? I'm not talking about that. We're going to keep it real. But I'm talking about allowing yourself to be released from the bondage of that person. And of course, sometimes it's going to take some other steps to get us there, right? But the first step is to forgive. In other words, just simply say, look, I forgive that person, man, and I just don't want nothing to do with him. And by doing that, what you do is you allow yourself to be free. Trust me, it's a principle, it's a process, and it works. And I'm going to share my story with you, right? Once you do that, man, that person no longer has the power that they used to have over you anymore. That's the first step. Now you can go to God with that situation and say, God, listen, now I need you to really help me with this situation. Because, Lord, you know what that person said about me, what that person did to me, how that person lied on me, how that person cheated on me. I gave him everything. I gave her everything. Man, I caught her with my partner. Man, them dudes was my partners. Man, I thought they were going to be there. Man, them dudes got on the witness stand, right? I'd share this story with you. This is a moment of transparency for me. I'm going to keep it real with you guys, right? When I was indicted, there was a group of people who some I knew and some I didn't know. Those individuals, right, swear when I saw them, when I spoke to them, man, I never do this. Man, I swear on my mama, I never do this and that to you. Man, I never testify this and that, the next thing. Not that me and these dudes had any dealings with each other. Square business. Not that we had any dealings with each other. They were doing their own thing, got caught with their own thing. Man, when I got indicted, man, a lot of these dudes showed up to testify against me. Now, here's the thing about it. Somebody be like, yeah, well, you out there doing wrong. Okay, cool. Not that we didn't have anything to do with each other. That's one thing, right? They had already sworn that they wouldn't do certain things. That's another thing, right? I trusted them to a certain extent anyway. But here it is, when it was time for my trial, I watched these guys get up on the witness stand and testify against me. The danger in that was this. For every last one of them that testified, it got me closer and closer to a life sentence. So that means when one person testified and said, hey, oh yeah, I bought X amount of drugs from such and such, or I did X, Y, Z with him, right? That brought me closer and closer to a life sentence, which took me away from my family. So that means every witness that testified took me away from my family for either 10, 20, 30 years or a life sentence. Check this out. Now, I had the power, right? I had the power to annihilate these individuals. We're talking about forgiveness now. We're talking about forgiveness. We're going to keep it 100. I'm going to be absolutely transparent with you. I had the power In fact, the individual that came to put the work in while I was in jail was in their presence and their midst, and they didn't even know it. The only thing I had to do was give the word. Now I'm in the county jail. My nephew died during that time. Everything is falling apart on me. I'm at the height of my music career, and here it is. I'm like, man, I got the power to make this happen. By street codes, that's what's supposed to happen. By street codes. And these guys were in the streets, and I'm in sin. So I ain't talking about no Christ, no God, none of that. I'm talking real talk, right? But I had just gotten in my Bible. I just started reading my word. I just started, really understanding some of the things of God. I didn't know God like that. I was just searching for some help and really was just broken. And I'll never forget, man, my inward man, my spirit man spoke so clearly and said, man, forgive them. And this after these dudes testified. Mind you, the person who came to put the hit on them, I'm going to call it what it is in their midst. They don't even know it. They sleep. They figure, well, I'm locked up. You know what I mean? He locked up. Can't nothing happen. Ain't nobody here. The person already flew in, baby. He right there in your midst. He getting ready to rock you and your people to sleep. And God spoke to me and said, man, let it go. Forget it. Forget about it. Just let it go. And I, with tears in my eyes, like, nah, man. Because it hurts so bad. Facing them life sentences for no drugs. Dry conspiracy based on somebody else's joint, right? And I would never forget, man, the word of God. God spoke to me so clearly, like, let it go. Let it go. And I'm like, let it go. Like, man, these dudes just testified against me, man. It's like, it wasn't even my dope. I ain't had nothing to do with their business. And it's like these dudes are trying to put me to sleep. They taking me away from my family. By street codes, they supposed to, whatever coming their way, it was supposed to happen. And I want to say this because I got some dudes that still know me from the street that follow me on my page. So even if this ain't for everybody, church folks, this ain't for you, I'm talking to those guys because I want to let them know about the power of God and how God can literally come into your life, man, and make a difference. So this ain't for no churchy folk right now. This for my men, them that's still in the street. This for anybody else that may view this video at a later time that's wrestling with, going through something, handling something on their own. Or someone who, the wife, the husband cheated, left you for another chick, older woman, he left you for a younger girl, whatever it may be. This for kids out there who were raised fatherless, and your dad wasn't there, and you may just be like, you know what, I hate him. You know what I mean? Listen, forgiveness, man. Forgiveness. So God spoke to me and he was like, listen, just let it go. Right now, and I'm hearing it on the inside, I'm wrestling with it with tears in my eyes. And I did. I literally forgave those dudes that testified against me. The person that was there to put the hit on, because I'm gonna call it what it is, he left it alone. Those individuals probably still breathing, but you know what? Over my 21 years of incarceration, I heard about the traumas that those dudes was going through. Had nothing to do with me. It was just the seeds that they had already planted. You know what I mean? Listen, there's nothing more powerful than the power to forgive somebody. You know why? Because you take your power back. You take your power away from those individuals, man. I wouldn't dare get on here and tell somebody something that I didn't have to do myself. I wouldn't dare testify, make a testimony about God, His goodness, this, that, or the next thing, unless, in fact, I've already experienced it. Forgiveness is for you so that you can start healing. Because many of those people, they've already gone on with their life, champ. They've not only gone on with their life, right? But man, they still holding you hostage. And you need to be free. You need to be released from whatever that hurt is. Remember we always talked about, or we spoke about that mental real estate? Man, listen, illegal squatters. This is one of the main or the primary ways that you get rid of those illegal squatters. You got to evict them. Release them, man. Release them. Whoever this message is for, listen, the only thing I can tell you, listen, get in God's word, get before God and ask God to help you with it. Will it be a struggle sometimes? Of course it will be. Believe me, no good thing come easy. But you'll heal yourself in the process. Listen, beautiful people, man, as always, I love you. And I pray that this message resonate with somebody and is able to help somebody based on a true story.